and I am talking to you today because we have a coal delivery plant right in back of our house, and when we moved here we had no idea that there would be so much soot deposited all over the house, in particular on the back and the sides. When we have snow in the winter, we get white snow, but it doesn't stay white very long because the coal dust settles in. We have the dirt issue all the time, and the other thing that's unpleasant is the noise when the railroad cars bang up against each other, and that happens throughout the day, throughout the night. This is a small plant. If the plant were larger, I can only imagine the increased noise level and the soot level in the air. So I would highly recommend the citizens of the county that this plant is thinking about settling in to raise a little disagreement here, because there are consequences to the residents.
I live across the street from the coal yard, and I think I may have talked to my neighbors, but the noise is a little bit, of course I'm kind of used to it because I lived in another rail yard, and they only come in about once a week, maybe once every other week, you know, and so it's not that much, you know, clanging. It does go in slow, you know, the moving it, but really the dust is getting on stuff. Of course, we did not have a good winter to really get stuff to snow, but if you like it's our house here, used to wash it, you would see more than maybe what you see right now on it. And if you, of course, if you don't have air conditioning, you know, the windows more would obviously blow in. And did get some on the north side of the house here, some snow, coal dust in the track because we have some sliding windows that got down in that. But you know, but it wasn't as bad enough that you were coughing continuously. And it only probably happens when they're unloading the train, not the truck, because it's more enclosed.
Is there a lot of traffic?
Yes, there is, but they're kind of gapped up. But mainly they go the other way, away from our house. You know, start at the entrance and go there towards the east, and then around on 74 to the yard, to the power plant. But now there's a few times that people got trouble with the trucks, because one time I heard a story, a guy worked out in the road here at the prison, he was on a motorcycle and the truck pulled out in front of him, and the driver, you know, didn't, you know, said I didn't have to stop, because at that time, I don't think there is now, a stop sign in front of the place, but, you know, when you pull out on a driveway, the road has the right way, not necessarily have to have a full-way stop, but
if it was,
used to it.
This one is in an industrial area. If it was in a much larger plant and in a residential area, do you think that would be more problems?
It'd probably be more problems because they say, you know, the magnification plus the airflow and which way it is. Now, they did say one time they hose it down when they dump the coal, especially off of the rail, when they dump it into the big pile. When they do that, they get more dust. Think how high they drop it. That's the boom on there. I don't know if you showed me a picture of that. Goes around. If it's lower to the height of the cone and work its way up, it'd be less likely dust. And how well they hose that. Maybe they could use some more hoses, you know, from other water sources onto it.
You told us also some people had problems with their swimming pools.
Yes, they got into their swimming pools and on their decks, on that, and a few other places. And then some of it drifted a little bit different direction what you normally would think it would have.
Depends on which way the wind's blowing.
And I said maybe eventually they might put some more trees in to help block it. But I said, of course, it hasn't been there that long to really notice any health problems per se. You know, maybe if you had asthma or something like that, it would show up worse. But you know, like you know, we weren't coughing, you know, continuously and nothing like that.
So if you think a residential area is not an appropriate place for this?
Probably not, because it depends on how far away you are from it. Like if you're less than you know, here we're about, you know, a couple hundred yards on the even edge of the property, you know. And if you're like 50 feet from the closest point, like that, and then say when the trains come in there, they go real slow, because they go like maybe every 3-4 cars stop and 3-4 cars stop, and it's not ribbon there, so it's a little more noisier on that. And if the guys that brakes, they make the high slewing sound if they didn't have it set right.
Yeah, we're talking about this coal company, the transfer station at Danville, Illinois. It's next to Pleasant Grove Bible Chapel, and the church I attend is Pleasant Grove Bible Chapel. We've had some problems with coal dust and such as that. It does blow from their station. They do try to keep it watered down. It doesn't matter how much you water, it's not going to keep the dust away. Our church has got coal dust and tar, or whatever you want to call it. It needs to be cleaned. We do our best to clean it. We have accepted it's here because this is an industrial area, but putting something like this in a residential area just doesn't get it as far as I'm concerned. If I lived in a residential area, whether there's schools or anything else, I would absolutely not recommend that zoning or permits be issued to allow a transfer station of this type in that area. Ours is a small one. Evidently the one they're talking about in your area is much bigger. So if it's 5 times bigger, 10 times bigger, whatever it is, the coal dust and everything is going to be multiplied by that amount. So, you know, I really have nothing wrong with the idea of industry, but not industry of this type where there's a residential area. And I would recommend that it be left as a residential zone, and, you know, may God bless you, and we'll see what happens. Thank you.
My name's Kathy Hart, and we've lived here a little over 3 years. And when we first moved here, everything was so nice, and I moved out here because of my health problems. And the air was fresh, everything was fine. Well, then they put in the coal thing over here, the railroad tracks. And the noise at night is just terrible. Every hour on the hour, trains going in and out, in and out. And whenever I go outside and I come back in, I clean my trach, and it's full of coal dust, which I know is going to my lungs, and it makes me have a hard time breathing. When we wash our house, there's coal dust. The dust is on the side of the house. You don't notice it till you wash things down. And if there's any little kids with asthma or anybody with health problems, that coal dust is going to really bother them. It will get to them real bad. And the coal thing is about less than a mile away from our home. And we're going to have to sell out because I can't take it. It's just running everything, and it's making it hard on me.
What do you think it's done to the value of your property? You've told me you're going to have to sell.
Our property is going, we're not going to get what we should. We know that we put a lot into this home when we got it. We've put a lot. My husband has worked so hard of remodeling all this, and we're not going to get nothing, because not only is this killing it, they're putting in an ethanol plant, and that's double kill. So, but the big thing is this coal dust. It's bad. It is very bad for anybody. You might as well work in the coal mines if you're going to get the coal dust in your lungs, because that's what it's doing to me right now.